for months now. The Blu-ray was just released yesterday, at least where I am. And I had been thinking even during the review of Avengers Endgame, which was better, Infinity War or Avengers Endgame? And it was kind of hard to decide right at first because I just came out of Avengers Endgame. I was fresh out of that movie, but now it's been months. I'm going to compare these two movies, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about which is better, Avengers Infinity War or Avengers Endgame. And as far as positives go for both of these movies, I'm going to be comparing them back and forth. Avengers Infinity War had a lot more Thanos. It obviously circulated around Thanos. He was the main character. The directors even confirmed Thanos was the main character of Avengers Infinity War. You followed him around that whole movie, you got so much of Thanos, and that's definitely a big positive for Avengers Infinity War. There's more Thanos. Thanos is amazing. He's my favorite villain easily. Out of all the MCU, he's just such an amazing character, and because there was a lot more Thanos in Avengers Infinity War, that's definitely a big positive. But in Endgame, the actual appearance of Thanos, while I thought he still looked awesome, even without the armor in Avengers Infinity War, and the CGI was obviously amazing in that movie, I did like the appearance better in Endgame with the armor and the sword. He just looked so awesome. He obviously looked so awesome with the armor and that scene where he walks in with the sword. He looks really cool. And so I actually liked his appearance a lot more in Avengers Endgame. Obviously, he loses that armor pretty quickly. Then in Infinity War, I do feel that there were more memorable scenes. And now, obviously, this is not to say there's not memorable scenes in Endgame, but just in Infinity War, I can just remember so many amazing scenes, one after another, throughout that movie. Just from Thanos knocking out Hulk, you get the Iron Man vs. Thanos scene, you get the Captain America appearance scene, you get the Thor appearing in Wakanda, and there's just endless scenes to remember from that movie. And while there's memorable scenes from Avengers Endgame, I feel that Infinity War just has more memorable scenes and just more iconic ones. And just walking out of that movie, there was just a lot more. Endgame, there was a better end battle. The end battle of Endgame was just absolutely amazing, obviously. And Infinity War did have a great battle towards the end, but right when you thought the battle couldn't get any bigger like it was in Infinity War, Avengers Endgame happens, and the end battle, it's just completely epic, and there's so many characters on screen at the same time. There's really not much arguing there to do. Obviously, Endgame has a much better end battle. Something that is better in Infinity War, just in my opinion, is a better story. It's a better overall story. Avengers Endgame is kind of a movie where it's obviously bouncing off of Infinity War. And while I did really like the time travel, I just think the overall story of Infinity War, with Thanos, you see him first, and then you see him at the end. And the way that he walks to his porch after he beats the Avengers and sits down with the music, I just think the overall story of Infinity War was better, and it felt more complete than Endgame. I do think in Endgame there were more emotional deaths. And obviously in Infinity War, most of the deaths I really didn't feel for that much because you knew there was Endgame. But with Endgame, you don't really know what's after. So obviously Iron Man dying, Black Widow dying, those were very emotional, and you kind of knew because there wasn't an Avengers plan. After that, Infinity War, you knew there was Endgame, but after Endgame, you don't know what's happening, so you really don't know what characters are making it out. In Infinity War, I do feel there were more shocking moments, like Thanos breaking Loki's neck, Thor turning into lightning, and exploding the army in Wakanda. You had Thanos actually snapping his fingers, collecting the stones, snapping away half of the universe, which is very shocking. Spider-Man dying, Black Panther dying, just everyone disappearing was just so shocking. And seeing Thanos win was extremely shocking. And there's just so many shocking moments in Infinity War, and I feel there were more shocking moments in Infinity War than Endgame, which is a positive. And for Endgame, though, I do feel it was more funny. I do think Endgame was a lot more funny, and there were a lot more funny moments. Obviously, Thor was great. Thor was definitely great in that movie. The banter between a lot of different characters was really good. There were a lot of good, funny moments. And I do feel the Endgame was a lot more funny than Infinity War, for sure. But as far as the best one-on-one fight, this is a very close one, because obviously Thanos versus Captain America is amazing. Captain America wielding the hammer, and is just one of the best scenes I've ever seen. But I just cannot forget about the Thanos Iron Man scene in Infinity War. And the way that fight goes down is just amazing. Obviously, there's Doctor Strange versus Thanos, which is amazing. There's a bunch of different fights as well. And the Hulk versus Thanos is absolutely amazing. But I just remember that Iron Man versus Thanos scene. And I just remember how brutal that fight was. Thanos just landing punches on Iron Man. It was just absolutely amazing. And that fight is just so amazing. The way it ends, he's about to kill him. I just think that fight is just one of the best fights I've ever seen. And as much as I really love the fight between Captain America and Thanos, I actually put the fight with Thanos and Iron Man maybe above that, just because of how amazing it is, how you feel every punch. That beats the one-on-one fights in Endgame, and I know people might be mad at me for that. And in conclusion, I know these movies are both amazing. I give them both a 10 out of 10. But I do feel that Infinity War does get the edge. These are both amazing, but the overall ending of Infinity War really is what gives it the edge in comparing these movies. I mean, when Infinity War ends, it's such a shocking moment, and seeing Thanos sit on that porch, I was just watching that scene yesterday, where after he wins, he goes back to his house, and he sits on the porch, and you see him kind of sad, and then he smiles, and it ends. And the way the music goes, it's just an absolutely epic story. And you see Thanos at the beginning of this movie so determined, and you just see him go through so much. You're almost rooting for him in this movie because of how hard he's working and because of what he's trying to achieve, and because you can really feel for him because he thinks he's doing the right thing. This is definitely something. Thanos is just the most amazing, one of the most amazing characters in film. I feel he's up there with Darth Vader, and the fact that you get so much of him and you follow his story definitely puts him at the top of all villains in history, in movie history. And I definitely think that Infinity War is the overall better movie, even though Endgame has amazing scenes and it's just an absolutely amazing movie. But make sure you let me know down below which movie you thought was better. I think both these movies are amazing. If you check our reviews, I gave them both a 10 out of 10. They're both absolutely amazing films. So many epic, great moments in both of these movies, but Infinity War does get the edge. But make sure you let me know down below which film you thought was the best, and thanks for watching.